Let it tank, let it tank, going 8 for 24. Let it tank, let it tank.
On this one right now, they can be patient and persevere through the process of turning this team around, or they can pull the plug right away on one of the team's major assets and accelerate the process. What should they do?
I'm going to pull the plug, not just because of the failures in the past, because I don't believe that this core players that go to the rink every day, they're not going to be any better in 10 games from now, and they're not going to be better next year in training camp. So you can't give them the benefit of the doubt and say, we're going to play it out, we're going to reset, maybe add to this group of players, and next year they're going to come to camp and they're all going to get it, they're all going to buy in, they're going to play defense and get wins. I just don't see it happening. You have to look at the core players like Phil Kessel and Dion Phaneuf. Those are the players that might fetch something back. And if you don't, you should still look at trading them and just get the contracts off the books and look to move on, Gino.
You've got to find a way, though, to start that process, but you don't just pull the plug, because trades like that you have to facilitate, and they're going to take time. If you're going to start that process, you maybe start with smaller contracts with guys that you know that you can move right now. Guys like Joffrey Lupul, where you know there's a team that's not going to bank on him to play 82 games, but they're going to bank on him being a top 6 forward that could help them down the stretch and into the playoffs. That's where I think you start. But bigger picture is trades like that, if you believe you're going to pull the plug and move forward, you've got to start that process and start the conversations underneath. And maybe it's something at the draft or in the offseason you move. But right now, January 16th, you can't just go, okay, everyone's available. Because
then who's not available? Who is untouchable on this roster right now?
I think you start with the goaltender, Jonathan Bernier, and a guy like Morgan Rielly. You know, Jonathan Bernier is, at 24 years old, he's just becoming a starter in the National Hockey League, and every team is dying for those backbones in net. Bernier has the skill set to do it. Morgan Rielly, we all know, we believe he's going to be a #1 defenseman in the National Hockey League. The thing you can't teach with him is experience, so I would think those two would be untouchable.
Two things: I would look at Jake Gardner's play in the next 10 to 15 games, and if you can move him, I would look into it. And JVR is a guy that I would keep around. Big guy that can move well, get you 30 goals. That's an extremely valuable asset.
And you know what? They don't have a lot of time to make the decision to find out whether they're buyers or sellers or just sticking with what they've got. The trade deadline now just over 6 weeks away.
Now things really not going Toronto's way under Peter Horachek, despite the improved play defensively up until last night anyway. Since that coaching change, the Leafs have allowed fewer shots against but have scored just 8 goals in 5 games and outscored 9-1 during that California trip.